Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Catatonia, starring me, the Mighty Crino, and this is Lair of Metroid Prime, a game where a strange, mysterious entity spreads a blue poison across the land that corrupts and poisons everything it sees, twisting its native creatures into horrible abominations and its trees and plant life into more horrible abominations. Actually, no, this is Elder Scrolls Online, but it's not hard to tell what game the developers were playing the weekend they came up with this dungeon. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about the boss mechanics and just the boss mechanics. So here is boss number 1. We've skipped all the stuff and we're just going to deal with the bosses. You have to fight Selene. Yes, the same Selene from Selene's Web. Perhaps you could say this dungeon is sort of like Selene's Web 2, except not really. Anyway, there's a cutscene, it's very boring, you have to wait, all you want to do is kill the stuff, but no, blah blah blah, and then maybe the boss fight will actually start. Still hasn't started. Here we go. Okay, so it starts off with a big bear. The tank, that's me, the guy with the Ouroboros above his head, is going to turn it away from the group, because it does that Selene's thing. But of course, as a damage dealer, you want to stand in red and get knocked flying and make life as difficult as possible for the healer, because, that's what damage dealers do. So continue killing the bear as much as possible by doing damage to it with your skills and abilities. Every so often, Selene is going to walk around the room and she's going to start firing poo at people. She hasn't done it yet, but she's going to, I'm sure. Here we go. No, that's not it. Oh, and watch out for this cone. You see, this cone effect, what you're supposed to do is it'll target one random group member, and you point it away from the group and block through it. And that way it doesn't hurt everybody else. It's really quite a simple thing to avoid. Here we go, she's doing the thing where she throws poo. She keeps doing it until she's interrupted, so go and interrupt her as quickly as possible, then get back on the bear. Eventually, the bear will die, succumbing to its various injuries. At this point, Selene will spawn a spider. Here's the cone thing again. You can see the healer just stands there, blocks through it, keeps the damage off everybody. Easy. Back on the spider. The spider has various skills, including leg attack and jumpy thing. Here we are Selene's doing her throwing poo again. Is everybody going to bash her? No, the tank's going to do it because the DPS didn't bother. If they dare complain that I just pulled the spider out of all their AoEs, then they need to remember to bash that boss, because that's the way to deal with that mechanic. Eventually this lady will die. Lady, spider, whatever it is, and will be able to move on. There we go, she is dead. Congratulations, loot your garbage for decon, and make your way to this door, which will lead directly to the next boss. Like that. I was lying, it was actually the magic of video editing technology. So this is the first time we meet Maarselok, the dangerous dragon responsible for all this blue corruption spreading across the land. But we're not really fighting him, we're going to be fighting this Lurcher. So the way this works is beat the Lurcher up as much as possible, avoid all these AoEs that he puts on the floor, and every so often he's going to spawn ads as well. The ads must be killed as quickly as possible or they make trouble. As you can see in the background there, Maarselok also flies across the room, leaving another trail of poo. Really, you don't want that trail that he fires to the ground to hit the Lurcher, because if it does, the Lurcher will enrage and hit a lot harder. So kill the ads as hard as possible, avoid the AoEs. I think you do get dots on you, I can't quite remember, but if you do, the healer needs to purge those. Unless we're living in a dystopian world where the tank is expected to run purges because there are so many dots in this update. Maybe that's a PvP thing, I don't know. As you can see, once you've killed the Lurcher, he'll just sort of stand there for a moment, and while he's doing that, health gets drained from Maarselok, I believe. So just kill as many ads as possible, you want them all dead before the Lurcher comes back to life. He comes back to life a couple of times before Maarselok gets bored and flies away. It looks like he did enrage. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Maybe I just don't understand the mechanics that well. In any case, continue avoiding the AoEs and attacking the boss, because we're going to have to kill him again. Once we do that, it'll take another little chunk off Maarselok's health. Now, a very important thing for the tank, when the Lurcher is enraged like that, he really hurts. So no matter what, he's getting enraged now because he got hit by that. No matter what, do not drop your block. If you drop your block, you will die. I just died. I am dead. It's over. Everyone else is going to die. It's ruined. What on earth are we going to do? Oh, no, the damage dealer is on res. Fantastic. Oh, and now she's dead. So, In conclusion, the lesson here is tank, do not drop your block when that guy is enraged because you'll die, and possibly damage dealers will get killed resurrecting you. Fortunately, the team is pretty good at rezzing each other quickly, and we are able to save it. It's not going to be a wipe today. So that's really it for this boss, which I believe is called Azureblight Lurcher. Lurcher, you know, whatever. It's kind of a hard word to say. Azure Lurcher. It's not hard to say, I'm just stupid. Never mind. Continue killing him, or hurting him, or doing whatever it is you do, because once he runs out of health again, he will freeze into a 1970s disco pose, as you're about to see like this. So, continue killing the ads, kick their asses, make them all dead. Once the Lurcher comes back to life, Maarselok's lost a little bit more health. Same thing as before. I believe the ads actually get more and more ads spawn each time he comes back to life. Now this is important, why I brought him over to this wall as opposed to fighting him in the middle of the room where you might think there's a bit more space. The reason I've done that is because our first run of this dungeon, I had him sort of in the middle, and some of the ads that he spawned on the other side of that wall at the cliff edge there, and we were unable to damage them. It's like they were outside the arena. We could not finish the fight, and we pretty much had to slash stuck and reset. It was very annoying. So, bring him away from there. Again, the goal really is to prevent the Azureblight Lurcher from getting enraged, which happens when Maarselok's fire trail that he spews down hits him. But while I'm really bad at that, and as you can see, here comes Maarselok with the fire trail, and it hit the Lurcher, and the Lurcher is enraged. So this time I'm going to be a bit more careful and not drop my block for any reason. Sometimes you do need to drop block, you know, like if you're going to do a heavy attack to recharge some resources, or if you're casting something. But look, we got an achievement, Garden Master. You actually get that achievement for killing the Azureblight Lurcher while he is enraged by Maarselok's fire, so it's not all bad to get him hit. Anyway, moving on, we're going to go through this door, which magically takes us to the next boss, which is called Tree Mutant Thing and Retextured Hive Golems from Vvardenfell. Actually, I don't think it's called that. I believe it is called the Azureblight Cancroid, because it's like, it's a tumor, or some kind. It's not a tumor at all. Well, apparently it is. Anyway, this is a semi-difficult fight to figure out, but once you figure it out, it's quite easy. So, what happens here is there are these like hive golem type things. Can't remember what they're called. They're sort of similar to lurchers, but they're not lurchers. They're the other thing, the hive golem. So the tank will taunt one, bring it over, and all of the DPS want to stay on the left side of him because we're going to move sort of clockwise. Actually, I don't know why it's taking so long for the fight to start. Perhaps my video editing skills could use some work. Never mind, I'm going to go all the way over there, apparently, and get him, because efficiency is not the name of the game. Okay, once the tank has his aggro, as you just see, he'll do a big blue AoE stomp. You do not want to stay in those big blue circles that he leaves behind because they do a massive amount of damage. So, once he lays one on the ground, the tank is to step out of it. He will tell the DPS to move the DPS back up, and we move accordingly, keeping him close to the edge of the ring so that nobody's in it. Everybody's close enough to lay their AoEs and their dots and their damage on the boss until he dies. Which hasn't happened yet. Or maybe it has. Yes, it has. So, when the boss dies, he drops like a little green synergy thing. You take that synergy over into the swirling blue vortex around this guy, and you pop the synergy, and it makes the shield go away. You can then damage the big thing in the middle, which is the real boss here, not these guys. But as soon as you've killed one, another spawns. So the tank will then take the next one, and we repeat the process. Stay out of the big blue circles. He's just laid one down. We move a little bit to keep everybody out of it. Tank keeps the attention of the... It's called an Azureblight Infestor. I'm actually reading its name there on its health bar. Okay, so now we know what it's called. It's not a retextured hive golem at all. It's a totally original, brand new creature that they've just invented and put into the game for the first time. That's what it is. Same deal again. This time this damage dealer took the synergy when it died and popped the shield. Damage dealers get over here, do as much damage as possible before the shield comes up. Meanwhile, the tank has grabbed to the next infestor and took it away. Same deal. He's going to stomp, step out of the blue, avoid the big AoEs and all the other stuff that he does. I'm just waiting for the shield to come back up so that the next one can be killed. Now I should point out there's a reason that we're taking turns with the synergy taking it over there, and it's because we're trying to get an achievement we saw called crop rotation, whereby if each member of your group takes the synergy and removes the shield, you get an achievement. What I didn't notice, however, is that you get that achievement for doing this on normal, and we are on veteran, so we're not going to get the achievement, but we don't know that yet. It's just another of those things you learn. So really, this fight is very, very straightforward, very simple. Tank takes the infestor. We keep everybody out of the blue circle. We move around accordingly so that nobody goes in it. You kill the infestor, you take the synergy, you use the synergy to take the shield off the big thing, you burn the big thing until the shield comes back, and you repeat. Marvelous stuff. Oh, and remember a couple of other things. It's very important if you're a damage dealer to step in every red thing you can see, because you want your healer to get very angry with you. Oh, and if possible, please stand on either side of the tank. That way the tank doesn't know where to go, because he's going to either kill one or the other if he brings the boss there. So make his life difficult as possible as well. We love it when you do that, we really do. Oh yes, I should probably mention these stranglers. They pop up between waves, and more of them will come, and the longer it takes you to burn down the infestor and take his synergy, the more of them that will spawn. So you need to be quick burning him, but you also need to be quick to get rid of those stranglers, because they add up, and the more that spawn, the more damage they do to you. Stranglers always want to be priority. If one spawns, take it out, then get back on the infestor. Once the infestor dies, grab the synergy where it's dead, take it over, pop the shield off the Cancroid, burn the Cancroid. Looks like this is going to be the last burn. Tank has grabbed the infestor and pulled it away. There, as you can see, this is what we're talking about. Please be on either side of the tank to make it difficult for him. Alright, the shield is off. We've lost a damage dealer to the stranglers. There were quite a few stranglers there, to be fair. Lots and lots of them. But at this stage, the Cancroid's about to die. It is dead. So, you know, when you get it that close, don't worry about reses, don't worry about the stranglers. Just put all your damage on that guy. Now that that boss is dead, we're going to move on to the next one. But first, we're actually going to go back out the door we just came in, because we thought it was the right way. So let's go through this door, have a quick look around. This is definitely the way we just came from. But actually it isn't. We're just quickly checking to see if there was a chest. I thought maybe we saw one. That's what we'll say. We'll say that, yes. That works pretty good. Okay, and this time when we go back through this door, we're going to be at the next boss by magic. Thank you, video editing technology. This, I would say, is arguably the more difficult of all the encounters with Maarselok that we will have in this dungeon. Selene will be standing in the middle of the room. She is going to spawn some little green spiders which climb up the wall to where Maarselok is perched, and I don't know what they do, but they do something to him to make him feel poorly, and then he lands on the ground and you can beat him up. But Maarselok has a few tricks up his sleeve, such as a bunch of ads he can spawn which will stop Selene from spawning those spiders. There's a few mechanics to keep in mind with this, but basically the way this goes, avoid Maarselok's AoE. He'll also do the unrelenting force shout, which will knock you flying if you don't block. As you could see on the edge of the screen there, a couple of us got knocked flying, but 𝘚𝘦𝘭𝘨 herself did not, because she remembered to block. So, stranglers, 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 they are the damage dealer's priority targets. Get rid of them, no matter what. Aside from those, there are also these little annoying hoarvors which slowly walk towards Selene. If they get to her, they will explode and interrupt her spell, which stops the spiders you can see on the left there from climbing up the wall for a moment. When that happens, it's going to take longer to knock Maarselok off the wall. So the hoarvors also have to go. I don't know if there are multiple strategies for this, but what I like to do as tank is I like to worry about the hoarvors myself. You can chain pull them to get them further away, you can talon them, smack them a few times and blow them up before they get to her. When enough of the spiders from Selene have gone up the wall, this happens, Maarselok falls to the ground. At this point, everybody needs to come over, dump their ultis, drop all their debuffs, and burn as much damage off of him as they possibly can before he gets better like that, and launches himself into the air with magical fart propulsion. And now it's back on. At this point, a lurcher, maybe a skeletal dog or two is going to spawn. You don't really need to worry too much about those, though it's nice if you get rid of at least the dog. But for the lurcher, the tank can just take it and go away. Keep it away from everybody else. The damage dealers, meanwhile, are going to go back and deal with every strangler that spawns. Get rid of them, get rid of them, get rid of them. Because the amount of damage they do is preposterous when they arrive in large numbers. Meanwhile, the tank is going to continue popping the hoarvors that are heading towards Selene, making sure that she doesn't get exploded, and he's going to try to keep that lurcher away from the group. But every so often, of course, because, you know, that's how it goes, a hoarver like that is going to spawn right where the damage dealers are, and the tank's going to come over trying to do what he can to get rid of them, and he's going to bring the lurcher with him. And I don't know if the lurcher cleaves, which damages everyone, But right now I appear to be doing a lot of very stupid things, bringing all these monsters up to the damage dealers. In any case, Maarselok's landed again, so it's time to drop those ultis and do as much damage as possible. Actually, I don't know if we even have ultis available. Maybe we wasted them on the Stranglers. Although anything you kill, it's never really a waste. Same as before, burn him and burn him and burn him as much as you can with all the fire and electricity that you've got until he farts himself into the sky once again. At this point, damage dealers really need to finish off that Lurcher for the tank because another one is coming, and if you don't take that one out, the tank's going to have to deal with two. And remember, they're enraged and they hit very hard. There is a time limit on how long tanks can usually hold things. That time limit comes in the form of their resources. They don't last forever, even if they're trying to self-sustain. So, making sure there's at most only one on the tank is beneficial. But, you know, if you're a good tank like me, and you're going to see, you're going to end up with a couple and all kinds of other crap on you and still be fine. But it's just helpful to get rid of all those annoying things. So, we've done it again, we've burned all the Stranglers, we've stopped Selene's spell getting interrupted, and Maarselok has come down to the ground. So, back over we go, dump our ultis, drop all our debuffs on him, make sure he's as weak as possible, and really bring him the pain, because it makes him yell and scream in terror. Once you've really got the mechanics down, this is quite a straightforward fight, nothing too taxing, I don't believe. Now as you can see, we've got 2 Lurchers and 2 doggies. Hopefully we can get rid of at least one of these guys. Or maybe we don't have time. No, we really are starting to get a few too many Stranglers, so the DPS is going to have to give up and leave the tank to suffer alone, because if we let the Lurchers, if we let the Stranglers get too many, it's going to be bad. Never mind, Maarselok has landed. I believe this is the last time we have to deal with his crap before he leaves us alone for good. So the tank's come over to drop his debuffs, and, you know, he's brought all these things over too to be annoying. But it looks like Maarselok is about to give it up. That's all you have to do. Make sure Selene's spell doesn't get interrupted, kill the Stranglers, keep the Lurchers away from the group, and the fight should end. Nope, looks like we're having another round with Maarselok. Okay, now we've got 3 Lurchers on the tank. Hopefully we can reduce that number to 2, make life just a little bit easier for the last big burn. Because on this last section, we are going to get a lot more Stranglers. I think it's possible to end the Maarselok fight sooner than we do. It just depends on how much damage you do once he's on the ground. As you can see, remember to block when Unrelenting Force is launched because it does knock you back, as just happened there. Lots of little annoying things to keep an eye on. Again, don't forget about the hoarvors walking slowly towards Selene. They must be intercepted and stopped because they will interrupt her spell. The more times she gets interrupted, the longer it takes for Maarselok to get grounded so you can actually damage him. There we go, he's down. This should be the final burn, for real this time. I hope. Bring the pain and thunder upon him. Yeah, looks like we are done. He's given it up for good and gone, and now we've got a chest filled with all kinds of fantastic prizes, such as lockpicks and manganese. So, with that being done, we're going to head through this cave-like door. I really would like to say that it looks like something else, but I think I won't. And we're on the last boss, because video editing. Alright, we're not going to do hard mode here, we're just going to go straight in and kill him on vet. So, this isn't too bad, honestly, on veteran difficulty. It's kind of similar to Sunspire in that, you know, really the tank should stay on one side while the DPS will stay on the other, along with the healer. The tank will keep the majority of his aggro. One of the mechanics you need to look out for here is this, the headbutt. You can block it, or you can just step out of the AoE before he does it, and you'll be fine. The other mechanic he does is he will put the Azureblight seed on one of you. If that happens, get to one of those green synergy pads, like the one you can see on the left, to cleanse it. There's a reason you need to cleanse those, and you're going to see towards the end of this fight what happens if you don't cleanse in time. The part where he charges across the room like that, if you time it just right by watching his channel carefully, you can dodge roll, and you will not be hit by him as he crosses the arena. He will also do his 𝘈𝘓𝘂𝘚 like he does there. You can block that and you won't be knocked flying. Here we go with the incoming Scourge seed. So this is where he puts the seed on somebody. He's See, the screen will flash blue. We don't yet know who's got the poison until we see the aura around them. It is in fact the damage dealer, 𝘚𝘦𝘭𝘏𝘶, so she's going to run over here and cleanse it by synergizing on the pad. When you synergize, it sends an AoE out from your location. Everybody needs to be aware of that and sidestep it. You don't want to take too much damage. Another headbutt, a masterful dodge roll by the tank. When he does this flame, just simply block through it. It doesn't hurt too badly. Looks like he is preparing another 𝘈𝘯𝘬𝘵. Quick dodge roll, easy. A few ads spawn here and there, like the Ice Wraith type things. They're annoying, but they're not really a priority. They just sort of peck at you. Okay, he's going to charge again. Remember, just dodge roll, and you'll never take any damage. Or you can also not dodge roll and block. Apparently that works. I didn't know that, but you learn something every day. Okay, another incoming Scourge Seed. Who's it going to go on this time? So remember, when that gets on somebody, you'll know by the aura that appears around you. You need to get to a synergy pad and synergize to cleanse it. Block the flames, continue doing damage. It's quite a simple fight. Just avoid the AoEs, same standard stuff you do in every boss fight ever. Looks like it was the healer who had it, but he has cleansed it. 𝘁𝘓𝘶 Maarselok is going to charge again momentarily across the room. When that happens, just dodge roll or block. Apparently you can block. As you can see, Maarselok is a gigantic blue bastard. But he will eventually go down. Here we go, he's preparing to charge. So remember to block or dodge roll. Unless to the tank, as you can see, he didn't bother to do either there and got knocked on his ass. Alright, incoming Scourge Seed. I think this is where it goes on me, if I remember this fight correctly. So let's keep a look at me over there on the left. I'll get the aura on me. Yep, there we go. Now, because I'm not really paying attention and he's almost dead, I didn't even bother running off to try and cleanse it. Here's why you should cleanse it. You're about to see. If you don't cleanse it, you are going to do something. Well, we can't see it because we're not looking. But there we go. You see that Lurcher? That came out of me. If you don't cleanse the Azureblight seed from your body, you will give birth to a Lurcher. You don't want Lurchers running around, because if they get hit by Maarselok's fire, they will enrage. Always, always, always cleanse when you get the seed on you. We're not really too worried about it at this point because he's almost dead. There you go, he has died. So that's why it's so important to cleanse during this fight, because you'll spawn a Lurcher which will be enraged by Maarselok's fire. Not something you want to have to deal with. There you go, it was pretty straightforward. Get yourself a Maarselok hat, which does some stuff you can read there. Fantastic stuff, thank you for watching.